All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing James Lee Burke, A Stained White Radiance. I know it's hard to see the cover here with my plastic book cover over it that's glaring in the light, but it's a cool book, cool cover. I really like it. One of the things I love about these James Lee Burke novels is the titles. A Stained White Radiance, and the title is taken from a line inside of the book here, but it's just a great title. All of his titles are great. This is Dave Robichaux, number 5. This is the 5th book in the Dave Robichaux Louisiana Mystery Series. I think there's probably about 25 to 30 books in the series, and I have them all down here. It's one of my favorite mystery series of all time. They're all right there. And they're some of my favorite books. The reason I read this is I had just gotten finished reading a Tony Hillerman novel. You know, the Tony Hillerman Navajo Tribal Police mystery series that I read has a lot of supernatural elements to the story. And one of the things about the James Lee Burke Louisiana Dave Robichaux mysteries is there's a lot of kind of like a supernatural stuff interweaving through these brutal and grim mystery series. That's another thing. If you like your police procedurals, your thrillers, your mystery series to be very brutal, very grim, very violent, very R-rated, James Lee Burke does that in spades with the Dave Robichaux books. I mean, they are just some of the most bloody books out there. And I like that kind of thing. I like that grim, setting. We set this series is set in Louisiana. And the way Dave Robichaux makes his way through the Louisiana landscape. And the way that James Lee Burke writes about it, I mean, you just get that suppressive, suffocating, humid landscape of Louisiana just ever pressing down on you through every scene of these books. It is just dripping with atmosphere and flavor. And that's why I love these books. And supernatural, you just don't know what you're dealing with here. So, the cover's decent. It's just, this came out in 1992. The Sonnier family. Starts with the Sonniers, Sonnier, a family. They've got a brutal history of child abuse, and which Burke describes in poetic, heart-rending detail. You would not have wanted to grow up in the Sonnier family. Well, anyway, Dave Robichaux, our main character in this book, he knew the Sonnier family growing up. He knew about them. In fact, he dated one of the girls, one of the Sonnier daughters, Drew. He dated her as a kid, and he was familiar with them. So now we're all adults now, right? And Dave Robichaux is called out to investigate that someone has shot a bullet through the window of Weldon Sonnier. He is the eldest son of this family, and someone's shot a bullet through the window of his antebellum mansion. And oh my gosh, who did this and why? There's Lyle Chenier, not Chenier, is it? I think it's Chenier. It's Sonnier, Chenier. I don't know how you pronounce it. But I've been saying Sonnier and Chenier, but you know what I'm talking about. Lyle Sonnier is a preacher. He's crippled. He is a Vietnam War vet, and Dave Robichaux, our main character, also knew Lyle from the Vietnam War. They were actually in the war together. So Dave has a pretty solid history with this family. And of course, he dated Drew, and she is back on scene. He dated her as a teen, and now, in the course of this investigation, he has to get reacquainted with her. And does all of this. It puts Dave in the crosshairs of, Weldon Sonnier used to work for the CIA. He's the one that got the bullet shot through his window. And now Dave has to investigate his background in the CIA. Did his past in the CIA have anything to do with this bullet that was shot through his window? Has all of this put Dave himself in the crosshairs of the Italian mob, or the KKK, or the white supremacists, or politicians that are like, or slick televangelists? I mean, everybody starts to come out of the woodwork in this mystery as a suspect, and things get more violent. Other people are maybe or maybe not killed. I won't get into any of that. And above all, we've got Dave Robichaux, who's just a normal guy. Well, he's not a normal guy. He's got some troubles. Him and his buddy Cleet. Now, Cleet is his sort of a strongman. And whenever Cleet's on scene, we know we're going to get some badass Jack Reacher type, stuff kind of coming on. And but then the softer side of Dave Robichaux is he has a daughter. He has a daughter that he rescued from a plane crash and has adopted. Him and his ex-wife. I won't tell you what happened, but let's just say he's got a daughter that he's raising as a single father. And that's the softer side of Dave Robichaux. And that's where we get, and his daughter's name is Alifair. And so he's got to keep everyone safe whilst dealing with crazy televangelists, slick politicians, KKK members, Italian mob. I mean, it just goes on and on, this mystery. And we don't even know if there might be supernatural stuff. This might be a science fiction novel. That's the thing is I like about James Lee Burke is he's like, it's kind of like we're dealing, and it's subtle. It's just subtly thrown in. It's not overtly over the top. These might be Stephen King-ish horror, supernatural horror books, but the hints are there. And they're sprinkled through different, they're not in every book, but they're sprinkled through enough that I love it. Anyway, another 10 out of 10 mystery novel from James Lee Burke, one of my favorite writers of all time.